Hey, live from Bristol International Raceway in Tennessee, it's the Valleydale Meets 500th Winston Cup race. Skies partly cloudy. There's a 50% chance of rain this afternoon, but right now the weather is fine. And good afternoon, everybody. I'm Bob Jenkins. Welcome to Bristol, the track that has in the past allowed many drivers to show their true colors. Three top competitors, Ernie Irvan, Rusty Wallace, and Dale Earnhardt, each recorded their very first win here at this facility. As we go into today's race, Ricky Rudd is on top of the point standings for the first time in his career. He won last weekend at Darlington mainly because of some strategy planned around the pit rules. However, during this past week, the pit rules have changed drastically. And for more on that story, let's go on pit road to Dr. Jerry Punch.
Well, Bob, there aren't many professional sports organizations that are as responsive to the input from the competitors and fans as NASCAR is. And as a result of that response and input, they're going to change the pit rules here at Bristol and allow the driver to change tires under caution. But to make it safe on pit road, they're going to divide the field in half. If you qualified on the inside row, first, third, fifth, seventh, etc., you're an odd car. If you qualified on the outside row to start the race, you're an even car. Now, to the first lap of caution, when the pace car comes out of turn 4 and opens pit road, the odd cars will be allowed to pit. You can come down pit road and do whatever you want to do. Next time by, the even cars can come in and pit. Now, herein lies the difference. They're going to strictly enforce the safety rules on pit road. If you lose control of your car coming down pit road and spin the car, get it more than 90 degrees out of shape, it'll cost you a 5-lap penalty. If you contact another car on pit road and it's your fault, which is a judgment call by the NASCAR official, that's also a 5-lap penalty. If you stop the nose of your car over this line marking the exit to your pits, that's a 15-second penalty. And you're allowed 7 men and only 7 to work on that car. An extra man or even a foot from an extra man over that wall will cost you a 15-second penalty. What they're trying to do is maintain the margin of safety while getting back to good old traditional stock car racing. Hey, and speaking of traditional racing, take a look at who's starting on that front row where John Kernan's standing.
Jerry, I tell you what, it doesn't get much better than this. Right here, starting from the #1 pole position, Rusty Wallace. On the outside, in the second position, Dale Earnhardt. Two guys who love this kind of a racetrack where the action is fast and furious. Things happen in a hurry, and there's a little, well, okay, maybe there's a lot of some beating and banging. It's the kind of track that really fits both of their driving styles. In fact, as Bob said, both drivers won their first career Winston Cup races here. So now let's go for the command to fire the engine.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. The Grand Marshal of today's race, the Vice President of Coca-Cola USA. For those 4 famous words, Mr. Raymond Thomas. Raymond.
Gentlemen, start your engine.
The 33-car field roars to life. A lot of factors to consider, what with the new pit road rules. Is that right, Ned Jarrett and Benny?
John, we can talk about them, we can dance around them, but Ned, until we run a race, there's no way of knowing what's going to happen.
Not really, but I think one thing for sure, Benny, we'll see a lot closer racing than we've seen so far this year now that they can change tires during caution. But I think one thing, it'll be hard for the drivers to make up a lap because of the restarts.
That's right, because odd cars on the inside, even cars on the outside. Normally, we see the slower cars on the inside on the preferred line, so you're right, making up laps is going to be difficult.
You know, Benny, this track has produced a lot of first-time winners. Dale Earnhardt got his first victory here. So did Rusty Wallace. Last year, Ernie Irvan got in victory lane for the first time ever. Wouldn't surprise me to see that happen here today. Michael Waltrip running awfully good. So is Hud Strickland. And Rick Mast, I think, has an excellent shot at winning this race.
Whoa. Don't forget about that young Jarrett. I think Ned's been a little bit modest. Dale is running very well, isn't he?
He is running good in the sit-go forward, and he likes this racetrack. He might have a shot at it, but he, like Michael Waltrip, pitting on the backstretch. That's another thing that has come into play with the pit rules the way they are now. It will be a disadvantage pitting on the backstretch.
All right, thank you, guys. You can see the cars lined up on pit road. In just a few minutes, they'll be going onto the track for a couple of warm-up laps. Here is the die-hard starting lineup for today's Valleydale Meets 500. On the pole, his first pole here at Bristol, Rusty Wallace in the Miller Genuine Draft Pontiac, qualifying at 118.051, just short of a record. Outside front row, Dale Earnhardt in the GM Goodwrench Chevrolet, car number 3. The second row consists of Davey Allison in the Haviland Ford, car number 28. He's flanked by last week's winner and the new points leader, Ricky Rudd, in the Tide Chevrolet, car number 5. Row 3 is Alan Kowicki, the Hooters Ford, car number 7. He's flanked by last year's Winston Cup runner-up, Mark Martin in the Folgers Ford car number 6. Fourth row is Brett Bodine, the Quaker State Buick number 26, and Ernie Irvin in the Kodak Film Chevrolet car number 4. And we take a look now at the remainder of the starting lineup. Rick Mast there is the only driver in the top 10 who has not registered a Winston Cup win in his career. Several of the drivers qualified off the pace, so to speak, and are placed in the middle, if not toward the back of the starting grid. So we should see a lot of movement of drivers coming up through the field. Ted Musgrave and Bobby Hamilton back there in row number 14. The two slowest qualifiers, Bill Elliott and Terry Labonte. The other three took provisionals, including Richard Petty, who used his provisional of being a former Winston Cup champion. Now let's take a look at the track they'll be running on here this afternoon. Bristol International Raceway is just a little over a half mile in length. They qualified at 1:18.051 in 16.25 seconds. 500 laps will go, and the field is separated by just a little more than a half second. Bristol International Raceway has pits on both the front stretch and the back stretch. It is a true oval. And as far as places to look for, well, coming out of turn number 2, we have seen many accidents occurred there, and likewise as the cars come out of turn number 4 onto the front straightaway. We've seen a lot of crashes in the past. The turns are banked at 36 degrees, that is turns 1 and 2, and by the same token, turns 3 and 4 also banked at 36 degrees. Even the front stretch is banked at 16 degrees, so you can see that as the cars come off of the banking of the turns, they go on to 16 degrees, and then they're right back into 36 degrees of banking. Our in-car cameras, as Ernie Irvin carries one of them, he's on that 36-degree banking right now. Ernie will carry one of our in-car cameras here this afternoon. His first career Winston Cup win came here. Dale Jarrett will carry a bumper cam. You can see that car right in front of the Snickers car, and the helmet cam also being carried by Dale this afternoon. And finally, Lake Speed will have one of our in-car cameras. Lake starting way back in 24th position.